let's say the Niners do something like sign Ryan Tannehill. If that were the case, what would they do with Trey Lance? Would they just, well, what should they do with Trey Lance? Should they just keep him on the bench indefinitely, or should they let him continue his career somewhere else and sort of let him go? Because he's in limbo right now.
Okay. I would not let him go for two reasons. First, how much they invested in him.
Right.
Second, he might really be good.
Yeah.
So here's what I would, if I were running the team, here's what I would do. I would have a list of priorities, assuming each of the quarterbacks, and I'm putting Tannehill in the mix, okay? That's totally hypothetical. Assuming that Trey Lance and Brock Purdy are completely healthy, and Brock Purdy has the same arm he had last season, I would have Brock Purdy as my starter. I would bring in Trey Lance for selected packages that he can do and the other kid can't do. He needs to be on the goddamn field.
That's interesting. I like that. And they flirted with this idea 2 years ago. Do it now. Two quarterbacks.
Do
I
it
like
now.
That. I like that.
He should have playing time in every game. He should
like
throw
that.
passes. He should run, not up the middle. And the way Bill Walsh brought Joe along, I would do that. I would have Tannehill sitting. And if it bruises his ego, tough. They're paying him.
We're paying you. Yeah.
You're paying him. Then when Brock Purdy gets hurt, assuming he does well, but he'll get hurt. They all get hurt. Then I would make Trey the quarterback. Then if he doesn't do well or gets hurt, that's when Tannehill comes in. What do you think?
I mean, I think that would be the best move for the 49ers, but I don't know how realistic it is that the Niners are going to get someone like Tannehill or even Baker Mayfield to sign up for that and say, you know what, we'll give you some guaranteed money, but you're going to be our third string quarterback. And if these two guys are healthy, you're going to be inactive on game days. Some guys might say, you know what, nah, I'm not coming here. I'm not going to sign here to wait around, in which case the Niners are in a really tough spot. What do you want to do? Do you want to go sign Ryan Tannehill and trade Trey Lance, or do you want to draft another quarterback and go at it with three rookies? You did have success with a rookie last year. I mean, some tough questions for the Niners to answer here.
Yeah, which maybe Andy Dalton land.
Forget Andy Dalton land. No, absolutely. I would rather draft a quarterback. The way I look at it is,
what I'm saying is they might do that.
I know, because they might go for the loser. Why bring in a loser when you could draft a guy who might be a winner? You know Andy Dalton's a loser. You know he's a freaking loser. But you might get lucky with the next Brock Purdy.
Yeah. I understand. And you'd have this rookie as your number 3 quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be okay being the number 3 quarterback. He'd have no choice. And what you can see is there's a lot of these quarterbacks coming from college who are experienced, who started 3-4 years, who threw a lot of passes, and they haven't been in the NFL before, but you put them on a team like the Niners and they can do the basics, and all of a sudden all you do is check it down to Christian McCaffrey. It's a good play.
Okay. Let me ask you this. If they get unnamed rookie and he's the third quarterback and sometimes he's inactive on game days and he lives with it, what happens to the quarterback position then? What happens with the other two guys?
Then you do what you said, which is use them both to have a 2-quarterback system and then eventually transition to Trey Lance if Brock Purdy gets hurt. But again, if that's what the Niners do this year, you can't really say that they're favorites to win the Super Bowl. You can't.
No, because they have 2 untested guys.
Yeah, and they're not in a Super Bowl window either. They're developing young quarterbacks. That's what they're doing. Because don't tell me how good your team is. In the NFL, your team is your quarterback. And what the Niners team is 2 young quarterbacks who are coming off injuries. That's your team.
Right. So
That's
again, a lot of people say, well, Grant and Lowell, how come you don't have answers for the quarterback situation? I don't know.
We didn't put the Niners in this situation.
We didn't do it.
Yeah.
They got themselves in a pickle, and they are in a pickle. Yeah.
They created this the last 2 years. Sorry. Oh, well.
And
go get Aaron Rodgers. He'll fix everything.
It would sure make it interesting. What a story and what a talent even now. But again, I come back to John Lynch. He presents himself as so relentlessly optimistic, and he may be that kind of person. But I feel it's almost like papier mâché. There's no substance. Not to him. There is substance to John, but not to this position. of
He's not expressing any confidence about this position publicly. He's like, yeah, Brock, we'll see, and Trey, yeah. I mean, doesn't have much to say here.
No, that's not a good position. And Iggy, finally, you get the feeling Kyle will make the decision on quarterbacks, not John Lynch.
Right, and that doesn't necessarily produce confidence that Kyle's going to make this decision.
No, for me, it produces lack of confidence.
It already seems like he has made his decision. His decision is Brock Purdy's going to be healthy because he said so. Brock Purdy's going to be healthy because he said so. Okay, Kyle. All right, man. I don't know what reality you're in, but what if that's not the case and you don't know?
Now, if Brock Purdy is healthy, they're a very good team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
They are.
That's one outcome.
There's a big question mark over their building.
And we also know that the 49ers don't seem to take the first month of the season that seriously. So maybe they're thinking, hey, even if he misses the first 2-3 weeks, who cares? What Kyle could be thinking is, you know what? Brock could miss the first month. I'll start Trey. If he plays well, I'll trade him. Brock will come back. Then I can trade Trey. Then people will be like, hey, maybe there's something there. That's what he could be thinking. Or maybe he really wants 2 starting quarterbacks.
Iggy, it's very interesting. In the old days, I'm talking about the old days when I was doing it. If I wanted to know about the 49ers quarterback situation, I would call up Bill Walsh's office. I wouldn't even go through the PR guy and speak to the assistant and say, I want to talk to Bill about quarterbacks. Would he have time later today? Yes, Lowell, please come up at 4:30. We'd close the door. There would be no PR schmuck there to monitor our conversation. And we would say, Bill, this is off the record. And he'd tell me the whole deal. Same with Seifert. Same even with Mariucci. Iggy, those days are over. I remember one time, it was lunchtime, and I went up. Iggy, have you ever been in that office? It's a hell of a nice office. It's big. It has a couch. It's really nice. And Seifert is a very simple guy. So he had a cup of noodles. And he was sitting at his desk, and you know how you pour the hot water in the cup of noodles, and it's styrofoam?
Yeah.
And I was looking, and here's the 49ers coach. He was probably making a lot of money, and he was a very kind of erudite man. And he's eating a cup of noodles, and we're talking about his whole goddamn team. And I
like cup of noodles.
I
like cup of noodles.
You do?
Yeah. Yes, I had cup of noodles last night. I love cup of noodles.
You had cup of noodles last night?
Yeah, me and Swasti split one. It was just phenomenal. It's a good little snack. It's good. I like cup of noodles. Ramen.
Well, there you go. And he was eating a cup of noodles. And can I tell you something? You think of these guys as otherworldly. You know what I mean? He's eating a cup of noodles. And one time I remember Bill Walsh and I were driving somewhere. And we were in East Palo Alto, and he went to a Chevron station he needed gas. But I guess it wasn't pump your own, or he had to go to the window to pay. And I thought, wow, Bill Walsh should go to the window and everybody will mob him. And I remember he was wearing shorts and a T-shirt. It was a warm day. I said, Bill, if you don't want to be bothered, I'll go pay. I'll handle the paying. He goes, no, it's okay. And he went, no one knew who the hell he was. And he was just a guy buying gas. And I had this, because in the world of football, he's famous. Over there at the corner in East Palo Alto, who the hell knew him? So I got a cup of noodles and I got buying some gas.
That's something to remember. Football is huge in America, and it's the biggest sport by far. But really, there are no celebrities in the league. You take a coach or the biggest quarterback and take him out of America, put him in Spain. I mean, it's just a guy walking down the street. You think Patrick Mahomes? They'd probably leave him the hell alone in Mallorca. But you take one of those soccer players and put him out here. I mean, those are legit star. Or you take Stephen Curry and put him out there. He's a legit star. I don't know why the NFL can't. They used to have stars. I mean, Steve Young, Deion Sanders, Jerry Rice.
Or LeBron James. LeBron James. Anywhere in the world.
One thing you said, so Bill would explain, they wouldn't want this to be a mystery. Now I think Kyle does want it to be a mystery. And I think it's a fundamental difference in the eras. Like, I think Bill was not trying to necessarily have a straight up adversarial relationship with you, trying to make you look stupid. I think he was trying to get you on his side and make you look smart and informed. Whereas Kyle Shanahan, I think, wants to make writers look stupid. Oh, you thought I was going to do this? You thought I felt this way? Well, in your freaking face. It was like, you don't even know what you're doing.
Iggy, that's a very perceptive insight, and I hadn't thought of it. Bill was not antagonistic. He didn't want us to look stupid, but he also wanted us to make him look smart.
Of course.
So he'd give us background information so we would be on his side and create the mythology of the genius. And he was a genius at using media.
And so now he's constructing the public narrative because he's talking to you about it. Whereas Kyle's letting people do it on their own and letting people flounder. And he's like, ha, you don't know. Ha, you don't know. Like, okay, help us out, dude. You don't seem to know.
Iggy, I had so much access to Bill Walsh and George Seifert. It was unbelievable how often I talked to them off the record. Okay? Mm-hmm. And so I understand what you're saying. Kyle has a different attitude. And would you say there's certain smugness there?
His best friend is Chris Sims, who's in the media, who is yelling that the Niners were going to draft Mac Jones. Wrong. Call your friend. Oh, but he won't tell you anything, right? He won't even let you not be wrong in public. Okay, well, that's Kyle.
But if he were more media savvy, smarter about it, probably maybe people like you and I wouldn't be saying fire his ass, although I happen to think I would be. But maybe more people would be on his side. I don't know.
Yeah, we wouldn't be saying, what the hell are the Niners going to do at quarterback? We'd be saying, look, they have a plan. I kind of trust in their plan. It sounds like their plan right now is to sign Andy Dalton. That's not a plan. You cannot win a Super Bowl with Andy Dalton. And if you think you can, then that's the problem with you, Kyle. That is your entire problem, is the fact that you think you can win Super Bowls with quarterbacks that you can't win Super Bowls with. That's your problem. It's your dad's problem, too. Andy Reid, I'll keep coming back to it, but after the Super Bowl, Steve Young was interviewing Andy Reid, and he was like one of those, what'd you learn from this experience? And Andy Reid said, I matter, coaches matter, but most of all, you need one of you. And he pointed to Steve, and Steve started blushing. You never hear Kyle say stuff like that about a quarterback, ever.
Wow.
It's about the quarterback, not the coach. You need one of you, where he's trying to prove that you don't. You don't need one of Steve. I think Mike's not in the Hall of Fame. Okay, his dad is not in the Hall of Fame, and if they're sitting around hanging, why is he not? Well, John Elway gets all the credit. When Mike thinks, well, it was me and Terrell Davis that figured it out. No, but John gets all the credit. So I think the Shanahans are very sensitive to the quarterback overshadowing them, and they spent the last 25 years trying to overshadow their quarterbacks. And where's it gotten them? That's what I think. But I'm not a therapist. I don't know.
You're not?
I'm not. My wife is, though, so I think I'm qualified.